Hello, beautiful friends. Oh my goodness, the song of Maravati was actually sounding in the ethers today. And that is, where a lot of composers would actually download music from. So I, for the first time, consciously experienced the ethers when I was leaving my body again and again as we are moving through this ascension, exploring dimensions that might not always be visible to us. And I'm not a musician, but so very often there is music in the ethers. All kinds of music. And this morning, as I was moving through the ethers, actually the song of Maravati was sounding in the ethers. And it was not that like I would be playing it, but that made me realize that we have played it often enough around the world for the ethers to remember. And so thank you. And we will continue to do that. I try to always be 100% accurate in everything that I share so that even if it doesn't make sense to me, I find it very, very important. And so I'm going to share something about Maravati. I don't know the whole cosmic story, of course. I don't know who does. But when we are in these cosmic realms, our DNA, the cosmic DNA that we have, which is really the most important aspect of us, takes us where we simply belong. It's not like we choose through our, some kind of like, oh, I don't want to be in this world, I want to be in this world. It's simply who we are. I am that I am. And this I am that I am might be taking some people to different realms, and they might be having a different experience. And we would say that's not true, but of course it is. So they are having their experience, which might not be at all our experience. But I do believe that enough of us in this world are from this realm of actually Maravati, from this cosmic realm, where we hear the same language, experience the same things. And I've heard enough mystics around the world to actually share exactly the same experience. And so once upon a time, since this ascension really accelerated, it massively accelerated in 2017 and then on. Then I have been able to hear the cosmic language very often. And so I realized many of the mantras that we sing, many of the wonderful mantras that we have actually did not originate by someone making them up, but they are the sounds of cosmos. And Maravati is truly the sound of this planet as she was originally part of divine matrix, part of divine creation, and her vibration, her sound, her resonance was Maravati. And so I was told that it was really important, and I never heard actually until that moment anyone, so I started Googling and people started emailing me, and we actually found a lot about beautiful Maravati in different ancient teachings around this world. So I'm working on it right now, putting everything together so that we can look at what we found. But I want to say, for me, the first time I ever heard this was in Cosmos. And so I was kind of sitting with it, and then one day I was meditating. I have a meditation kind of rock or platform or whatever you want to call it. I always recommend when you meditate in nature, and if you are blessed with having some land or backyard, front yard, if you can go to the same place every day, you are actually building, of course, a portal of energy. And so I have a rock upon which I meditate every single day, several times actually outside. And I always touch the earth every morning. I put my hands on her, I talk to her. That's how I start my day. And then, working with the Creator, with Divine Mother, and with Christ consciousness. And suddenly I heard the song of Maravati. And again, I'm not a singer, but, I had my phone with me. And so I was trying to capture it exactly the way it was sounding. And this was last year around November. So I recorded it into the phone, and I was just, again, sitting with it going like, whoa, that was amazing. Like, you could really hear the song. It was so powerful. And then again, I was meditating, and Kristen Hoffman came into my consciousness, and she's an incredible, opera singer and a musician, and just an incredible divine being. Many of you met her maybe at the World Congress on Illumination, and her live performances, you can't capture in a recording what her live performance is like. And so for those of you who came to the World Congress, twice she performed at the World Congress, not only last year, but also the year before. It was unbelievable, right? And so, absolutely incredible. And so I thought, I know Kristen is famous, and who knows, she probably would never want to, do something like this. But I sent her the recording, and I just said, what if? And as amazing as she is, she said absolutely. And so again, as it is with all inspiration, you cannot force it. And so our agreement was that whenever the time is right, whenever the energy is right, whenever Divine Mother actually comes through, whenever that flow comes through, the Song of Maravati will be born. And the Song of Maravati was born just as the false matrix dismantled, and just as this new world was born, which is amazing. The timing, of course, was perfectly divine. And Kristen said, and as you can hear it in the song, not only is it, exactly how it was sounding in the ethers, but also with all the angels who came to sing. All the wonderful, not only Divine Mother, but with all her angels, she came to sing. And so we had this, synchronized global event where actually it was hundreds of us. I think it was in the end about 500 people, and it was probably you here, when we played the song together outside to Mother Nature. And to me, it was like the New Earth hymn. It was this planetary song for the new Earth. And it was really just this morning. So this morning, when the ethers were really resonating with Maravati, which tells me a miracle has happened, and heard a song of remembrance, it's like sound healing for the earth. And so we will do the same thing again. Hopefully you will join us. I will send another email with more information just before the 29th. So for Australia and New Zealand, it will be the 30th, but it's a new moon, new beginning. And not only is it a new moon, it is also the new year according to the Chinese calendar, which is the calendar of Mu. And so this is quite amazing. And we will again play, each one of us from our phones and whatever devices we use. You can download the song from Kristen's Bandcamp, or you can just play it directly, whatever you wish to do. But this version, now that I played, it is the highest quality of sound. We worked with a master sound alchemist who made this incredible, very, very clean, it's about tone. So the tones now have been completely mastered. And so I also will make a new video for YouTube with beautiful imagery, so that we help our earth as the mother remember. Now, I shared a story where I was actually taken into a UFO on spring equinox in 2020 at Mount Shasta. And it happened during the day. I was just meditating, and I did a lot of Orin, and I went into this incredibly beautiful state. I was alone. And then the next thing you know, just unbelievable things started to happen. So when I was taken into the UFO, I met with 3 different beings from this universe who were not humans at all. And they gave me information which was missing in my consciousness. And they said, you have to remember, and this was in 2020 spring equinox, they said, you must remember all these things that we do, all the meditations we do, all the chanting that we do, all the purifications we do. It's not about the self, it's about the earth. And that suddenly triggered unbelievable amount of memories that came about the earth, and how the earth is so much more than what I knew for her to be. And so I started to have all these different ancient memories, and I was just like puzzle pieces coming together in a really overwhelming amount. But it came with all the memories of things that probably happened to all of us. And one of the things that I started to just go through, and it was not like a vague memory, you know, it was like reliving so many different lifetimes, whether they were here on Earth or somewhere else in this universe or even beyond the universe. And so when people say we are multidimensional, I got to live it in a way that was like, I realized that we are a tower, and that this tower is running through all of us in a more and more active way. And I have some images here for today before we do our meditation, that we are like a pillar of light, and this pillar of light actually moves through not only our physical spine but also our non-physical spine. And when we self-realize it, not through intellect, but actually it happens energetically, we suddenly have access to us in different realms, in different even parallel realities. But at the same time, we are right now here, but at the same time you are somewhere else also at the same time. And so I started to have these unbelievable experiences of my being, not just here, but also many other places outside of this earth all at once. So suddenly it was like this timeless reality. So that would be like another me in a different body, but, you know, not even human, working on projects within this universe. And then I would be another me working on projects still within the universe, but there was also another me being able to see the universe from a distance, so outside of this universe. And this is for all of us the same thing. This is our multi-dimensional self. It was not necessarily at all about past lives on Earth, even though I remembered those too, but it was so much more realizing that you exist now also in other places in the universe, which with much more awareness of the big picture. And then I started to relive coming to the earth for this lifetime. And this is what I think again applies to all of us. So I like to always make it about all of us, so that nobody feels, you know, like excluded from any of this, because I think it's truly who we are. And I started to relive coming to the earth and being prepared by Divine Mother herself. And I realized there is not just one Divine Mother, but in a way, to me, it seemed like there is a Divine Mother for this galaxy. Then there is a Divine Mother for this universe. There is a Divine Mother for the cosmos. There is a Divine Mother for the Earth. And so that was just my experience. And so Divine Mother, I could tell, was preparing many, 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 many of us for this lifetime. And she was kind of testing our abilities and skills. And to me, this is very similar to what Patricia Cota-Robles says. You know, how when the call sounded, many wanted to volunteer, but only some were picked depending on their skills and ability to be in this world, but not to be of this world. And so, as I went through the many tests myself, I could see so many other human beings around me being tested too by Divine Mother in a very loving way, not in the way that we were told the tests would be on this planet, you know, when people started to say, you know, you're being tested by suffering and pain. Not at all. Divine Mother would never use suffering and pain, because that would be a very cruel mother. She never ever intended for any suffering or pain to be part of our reality. But as you know, our reality here got hijacked, and so suffering and pain was not her design. Her tests were different tests. Her tests that we all passed to be able to be here now and to do this work were actually tests of fearlessness, being truly fearless in this world, and also how well we would stick to that which the Hopi people, the Hopi nation calls the narrow, straight path. The narrow, straight path is obviously a path of your own divine self. It is the pillar of light. And so when we go too far from the pillar of light, we are not in the flow of the divine self. And so I experience all these different tests with you. And so every single time Divine Mother was giving us these incredible tests of fearlessness and sticking to the energy of the divine self and not getting too far from it. And so this is a huge success, not only for Mother Earth, Maravati, this is a huge success for Divine Mother, because her children, her rainbow children, they succeeded. They were fearless, they kept going, they didn't give up, and they were sticking as far as we could to the path which is narrow, which is straight, which is the pillar of light. And so this is quite amazing, because this is truly a new beginning, and we will keep doing whatever it takes for this to become truly visible and tangible all around us. So we're going to take a look at a few things. First of all, to empower yourself every day, remember it doesn't matter what the human being within us might be still struggling with. The struggle is of the past. Now we are the walking fields of solutions. This is our DNA, our cosmic DNA. And so the old mind is the one that likes to worry and sees problems, tries to figure them out. It wants to fix something because it's broken. But that is the old mind. The new mind is the mind of your divine self. It is constantly connected to the wholeness of itself, and it is always a complete solution to all things. So it's just about a little bit of going within and asking what solutions are being transmitted from the field that you are into this world, and just allow it. And it requires those 4 steps Divine Mother always taught us: relax, let go, trust, and surrender. To go back to the false matrix, if you are curious about how it worked, who created it, how it all happened, it's a wonderful, very short video, like an hour and a half, created by Brian Scott. And Brian Scott reads beautifully from the Second Coming of Christ. Normally, if you want to listen to the Second Coming of Christ, you know, there's some robot reading it on YouTube for like 7 hours. But to just look at like the basics of the false matrix that we are just emerging from, Brian Scott again, and you see this video here, why did God create Satan? Now, that video, I've listened to it, I don't know, dozens of times, again and again and again, as we knew that the false matrix was coming to an end. But now it has come to almost an end. It is almost fully disassembled. I call it that the skeleton of the false matrix is still there, but it's only a skeleton and it's broken. But all the walls, all the ceilings, all the floors, all the bricks, it's all gone. So this one is a wonderful explanation, and really I would go back to it again and again just for the purpose of understanding how it all worked. The other thing that I always suggest is the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching described everything so beautifully. And so this is from the Tao Te Ching. The mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. The Tao doesn't take sides. So one day when Yogananda came to me in the middle of the night and he said, just command the creator of all that is, for the creator to reveal itself to you. And that was this unbelievable experience. I sat up in our bed and I just said, creator of all that is, reveal yourself to me. And the creator of all that is came. When the creator of all that is came to me for the first time, the creator came as what people call Indra. So Indra as one of the god forms, I guess, in the Bhagavad Gita. Indra was, and I never worked with Indra specifically, but I recognized actually the structure of the creator of all that is. The structure was truly jewels of rainbow light and strings, and that immediately, for those of you mystics, would be Indra's net. And so that's how the creator actually revealed itself to me. I cannot say he or she, itself. And when the creator of all that is revealed itself, the creator stayed the entire night and for many hours was explaining to me the structure of creation. And so this is where I got the image. And this was the image of creation. It was truly the infinity. I call it the 2 trumpets of creation coming from oneness in the center. And this was before the false matrix. So The mystery and manifestations arise from the same source, and the Tao doesn't take sides. So this is the original design for creation. But in the false matrix, the being that you just saw the name of took this design and tweaked it just slightly to actually take sides and to give everyone the illusion that one side is better than the other. And this side was not good and evil, but in the false matrix, these sides did become good and evil. So in a way, the being that we called Satan, and we just know that that word actually means the one who is against the divine, then this being took the divine design and simply made small changes to this, how the energy flows and how it doesn't flow. And so we got stuck in it. And the stuckness meant taking sides, being one with just one side, having desire, having need, having want for just one side. This side or the other side, it doesn't matter. But that's exactly what happened. And so the Tao Te Ching is now really a great, I would call it the Bible of Mu. And this is just a few quotes so that we can get assistance with this new world. So when we are free from desire, we realize the mystery. And the mystery is all of this all at once, without good and evil. The good and evil, again, was just the false matrix, which went beyond the earth. But this is the design of the mystery. These are the two trumpets of creation coming from the oneness. These are the two wings of a bird. They are needed, and yet the center is really what we often would refer to as the truth. The center is the truth, which is beyond manifestation. The center, but both wings are needed for creation. And so only when we are free from desire was created by the false matrix. Desire, need, and want are all actually tools of the creators of the false matrix to keep people trapped in false manifestation. So free from desire, we realize the mystery. In the false matrix, when people were focusing on one side and they were saying, this is beautiful, then other things had to become ugly, because it was the false matrix that wanted people to see just one side as desirable and then the other side as not desirable. But again, you see how that worked. So now we are moving into the oneness of being centered like a bird. The heart is in the middle, but we do have two wings, and the two wings are really what originally was the light and shadow to create manifestation. Shadow was hijacked by the false matrix to create true darkness. And I don't mean true darkness in terms of lack of light, but true darkness as evil, of course. So we are now coming into the true divine manifestation in which light and shadow allow for this monumental, as Yogananda called it, colossal entertainment. We are going back to having fun. So when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. That again is within the false matrix. The master acts without doing anything. She acts but doesn't expect. That again is being the one in the center, having two wings and being done through, being lived by this universal intelligence as she moves through us and she animates us. And that is, of course, Divine Mother. And so the Tao has no desires for itself. And again, in mystic traditions like Yogananda's Bhagavad Gita, we would say that the Creator has desireless desire. The Tao is the Creator. The Tao has no desires for itself. It is desireless. And yet it creates but doesn't expect, doesn't take sides. It is free from all. So all of this is actually the art of creation, which we have known as alchemy. And we will be focusing on alchemy as we move forward. Alchemy is actually no desire, no need, no want, and no attachment. And yet it creates. it brings the elements of creation together for the joy, for the experimentation, for the love of creating. Creation depends on our ability to actually be creative. Creative in any way. In this world, of course, the false matrix, what did it do? Did it want people and kids to remain creative? Absolutely not. It wanted them to be stuck in desire, stuck in survival, stuck in need, and stuck in wants and attachment. It created all of that so that the immortal, unlimited creator being that we are would become completely disempowered and feel that now we need something, now we must want something, now we must get it to be satisfied. So all of that was the false matrix. So now we are remembering our original design, but to be able to fully become it, of course, we have to do a lot of forgetting. And the forgetting is what a lot of mystics call unlearning. Because we have learned the ways of the false matrix, and they are written into specifically our lower mind. And they were written into the physical body too. So now how do we liberate the body and the mind? And so that we can come into joy of creating, into, creating for the love of it, creating for the joy of it. So, and just because, just like the master. And that means absolutely. We've had all the wonderful teachings about it all. So I saw Alexander here on a call is from Czech Republic. So I was born in also Czech Republic. And, we choose where we need to be born depending on the planetary grid. And we choose where we need to be born based on where our DNA, the cosmic DNA, will be able to actually unfold and be the acupuncture needle. So for me, the acupuncture needle was in Czech Republic. And for example, if you find it interesting, there are certain portals around this world, many of them, that contain obviously multi-dimensional portals to other realities. And for example, if you've been to Prague, so the name in Czech, it is really a threshold to another dimension, a threshold to a city of light. But this is of course not the only one in the world. Sedona is a threshold to the new earth. And so in Prague was a city of alchemy. And it was originally, actually very few people know this, established by the 7 rishis who came, we've worked with the 7 rishis, the 7 holy Kumaras. And the original name, again, was cosmic language. And it was actually Prayaga, which meant the confluence of energies. Even in India, you will find a lot of places named the same way. But Prague was always considered the city of alchemy. And so we have different portals emanating different information into the planetary grid. But I just wanted to mention this, that Prague actually emanates as a portal of alchemy, and that there is a higher dimensional city of light that many people are able to visit when they move through these portals, just like many people are having experiences. And so we are becoming alchemists. And alchemists are truly not exactly, working in a laboratory, but we will be working with 5 elements to create creation. How else is creation created? Creation needs someone to have desireless desire, to create for the love of it, to create for the joy of it, to create for the fun of it, and to be creative, to be able to visualize, to be able to bring the elements together. So we talked about how we have this new design for the light body, which now channels so much light. Maybe you guys too are having amazing dreams where you are flying, where you are spinning. It is about light and spin, flight and spin. So pay attention to your dreams. It's happening, especially when our physical body is resting, that we are experiencing this incredible activation of our light body. And so today we will be doing a meditation. And this meditation comes from, I'm just gonna, here I had actually our, we are coming from the false matrix. The false matrix took all our spirituality to and made it part of itself. And so even the teachings that we, people called him Jesus and Yeshua, now it's the time to open the mind maybe and study Yogananda again, who was able to actually transmit so much true divine knowledge without being, captured by the false matrix. He remained completely free. And so he, in the second coming of Christ, he speaks about Issa. So Issa, and you might notice that Issa sounds very similar to Is. So the mother of nature that was honored and known in ancient Egypt, which came from Atlantis. She is a goddess in cosmos now. She didn't go anywhere. She still is. And she's the mother of nature. Is. So these are cosmic syllables. And so her son was Issa, the son of the goddess. So what is important when we do our alchemy of creation? So number one, to be completely free, but it doesn't mean that we do not create, but we just don't want to create from need, want, and desire and attachment. We want to create from freedom, just because that's who we are. We are creator beings. So as I've been traveling through cosmos, I was always taught by these different cosmic beings that actually we can eventually become the creators of something so beautiful like a galaxy. We can become the creators even of a universe. And this is how universes and galaxies and solar system actually come into being. It is not just 100%, from chaos comes nature, but is actually from design. And so there are beings who are in charge actually of creating with nature. And so how do they do it? They do create a design, and they don't come from like greed and want. It's all actually like an honor to create. And so they use concentration, willpower, and visualization. So if you just remember the formula, this is the formula for creation here with Issa, and that is to concentrate, to have willpower, and to visualize. And we will practice these together.